against Holland, England knew they had to put points on the board.
On the lineups. Now, England have made those two changes, as you said. Glenn Hoddle starts the match in place of Neil Webb, and Trevor Steven comes in for Chris Waddle, who's a substitute. I have to say that if David Watson had been fit, I think he would have played at centre-back. As it is, he's not, and Bobby Robson perseveres with Tony Adams and Mark Wright. The substitutes include Chris Waddle, Steve McMahon and Mark Haitley. Now, as for the Dutch, they also have made two changes. Up the front, they brought in... Well played, Robson. Lineker's made a darting run through. It came off Koeman. Lineker surely hit the post. Dead unlucky. Ronald Koeman made a disastrous mistake. The blonde defender, it came off his head, he beat his own keeper. And Lineker hit the outside of the post. There's Van Basten. And he goes down. Play on. Good decision by the Italian referee. Gary Stevens went for the ball, I would have thought. And that's curling a bit. But I rather think Peter Shorten knew exactly what was going on. Hoddle's waiting, so is Lineker, so was Barnes. Bullet! Chance for Holland. Oh, and Van Basten. Well played by Tony Adams. Seemed to be blocked by Adams. Muren. Well, there were appeals for a foul in the box, but Arnold Muren wasn't listening to those. Good header out. And driven back by Wouters. But there was some good defending in there. Van Basten. Wouters. Well, everything we've seen about the Dutch so far, both in the first match and today, they're never afraid to have a shot at goal. Oh, he had to be aware of it and saved it the second time from Van Basten. It's Hullitz in the middle. Here comes Hullitz. And Kenny Sansom got back to make the challenge. Watch this as Hullitz comes in to try and finish it. And it's Hoddle. Post. So unlucky. And it was a against Stevens, and he's beaten him. Van Basten in the middle. Arriving now. That's Van Basten. It's Van Basten. It's a goal for Holland. Marco Van Basten. 2 minutes before half-time. And the Dutch delighted. And Hullitz did the damage on the left-hand side and whipped the ball in. Now then, Van Basten turning his man, and as the challenge came in, the ball shot past Shilton. Tony Adams, I think, was the first defender who made a run from the back out to the right wing. And Van Basten's through again, and he's round Shilton, and Gary Stevens off the line. Van Basten going through a devastating spell. It's half-time. Well, 1-0 to the Dutch. But it could have been worse with that clearance off the line in the last seconds. Jimmy Hill.
Well, for 2 years now, we've been worrying about the vulnerability of the central defence to attackers with pace and nimble turning power. And just in that last 3 minutes before half, the opportunity, had we been allowed to play in Europe, to come up against that type of nimble, speedy, turning defender that exists.
On the field now, England have 45 minutes in which to... Well, England there was stretched, simply because Hoddle's cross. Oh, and Van Breukelen missed it, and it's just gone wide. Mark Wright was the player who scored! The captain's done it! England are level! And Bryan Robson shows the way. Beardsley played the first ball in. Robson played a 1-2. It was pushed back to him by Lineker. He carried on. Hoddle. Kenny Sansom's coming in offside. Offside, and it wouldn't have mattered. Jimmy Hill shouting beside me. Lineker hit the bar, but actually, Jimmy, it was offside against Kenny. On by Rijkaard. Pullitz over the top. And there was space there to line up the shot, and Peter Shilton had to turn it round. They didn't close Van Basten down too well there. Oh, Pullitz! Side netting. They were so quick to create the... Marco Van Basten scores his second. England are behind for the second time. The Dutch supporters thrilled again. Now let's see, as the ball comes in, there's Pullitz. Play to the left. Van Basten with the left. And Van Aala. Corner. Well, this is a prolific spell by Kieft. Oh, Van Basten! Well, it's a hat-trick. And the Dutch have surely cracked it now. The third goal from the corner kick. The near post corner flicked on by Kieft. Taking on right and still getting a shot in. He can do nothing wrong at the moment time, and there's not much of that. Holland have beaten England by 3 goals to 1 here in Düsseldorf. The man who scored the 3 goals, brought in by Rinus Michels today, Marco Van Basten, not on the pitch at the end, but on the pitch when it mattered, to produce a fine personal performance, which his elusive...